Welcome back to the Forex Fortress as we get ready for another weekly closure as I search my words, and we got plenty to talk about on not just Forex major pairs, but maybe a little bit of traditional markets as well, and then of course some Bitcoin to wrap it up. And then we'll be on, actually by the time that I post this, I'll already be on Twitch. I can do the old scheduling trick, which for whatever reason has people confused because I typically release videos at like fucking midnight for myself. Hey, I'm not actually awake. I go to bed at literally 9 a.m. or sorry, not 9 a.m., but 9 p.m. just about every day. Anyways, with that said, let's start off with good old Dixie and see what we got in store right here as we do prepare for the weekly closure. So, of course, with the weekly coming in a little bit later today, we do still have the death cross on to be aware of, and I would still be largely looking for this one to keel on over a little bit more, actually a little bit below about 90 bucks, as we did not just have the death cross on the weekly, but also breaking structure here as well. And next major level is, right around 90, about even, just slightly below there perhaps as well. Anyways, on the daily though, however, it is looking like a little bit of a short-term reversal here, which I would be looking for it to kind of carry out in line with what we spoke about yesterday. Perhaps a short-term target back up to about 91 and 11 cents. And if we can start to clear that area, especially above the 4-hour 55, then I would be looking for an extension back up to about 91 and a quarter. So I would be looking for a short-term reversal. However, long-term still downside angled, as this is, well, more or less shaping up to be some sort of a rising channel bear flag. Anyways, with that said, we'll go into the actual list now, starting with Aussie dollar as always. And holy shit, it actually almost hit the long-term target right there. Pretty damn close, about just below 76 and 90 cents, which is what we were saying. And what now? Is that the top? Is that it? Are we done yet? Actually, it looks pretty damn good on a daily. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fucking, that's close enough, man. I'd be looking for this one to come back down here. What's the next level that's going to be relevant on the downside? Let's just see what is historically relevant here. We do have several points of confluence coming in right here, as you can see. So let's just see where that comes in at current price action. And yeah, I'd be looking for things kind of likely trade back down towards the 74.85-ish region over the next, or I guess coming into next week. On the very low term timeframes right here, yep, looks toppy as well. Probably a little bit of a short-term downside to about 75 even, probably a short-term bounce right there. But coming into next week, I would be looking for this one to play out a bit of a pullback here. And on the weekly itself, oh, nice. It actually did just stab into the 377 just about perfectly there. So would I remain bullish on it on the weekly? No, I want to see where this one opens up next week, but short-term down a little bit, and then we'll come back to it. Anyways, moving on to CAD dollar. What do we have over here? Very similar, in fact. Didn't quite get up to the same sort of relevant levels as we had this area marked off right here, right around 79 and a quarter. Also in line with the same 377 on the weekly as well, and also long-term diagonal resistance, of which I don't really trust all that much anyways. And what are we looking at in the short-term time frames? Yeah, short-term time frame coming back down a little bit. I actually would be looking for a small bouncy bounce here. However, just like we do see on Aussie dollar, actually, no, I would not get. I would not look for a greater pullback here just yet. Aussie dollar does look like it's ready for a pullback. This one, however, I would be looking for it to give another try to the upside coming into next week. Perhaps it actually does stab up towards that same area that was akin to Aussie dollar. So again, short term, a little bit of bounce up in where we're at right now, and then I want to see it coming into next week. Likely still have a bullish bias on this one though coming into next week. However, moving on to Swiss franc dollar, what do we have right here? Ooh, nice little breakdown. However, are we going to actually revert the trend just yet? Well, I'm sure that we do have 3 drives of bearish divergence. Indeed, we do. And I'd probably be looking for this one to come down a little bit more overall, probably down to this last range low, right around just below 112-ish region, wherever the 55 is on the 4-hour here too. Momentum oscillators turning down at the same time, so divergence plus momentum oscillators plus structure here. Yes, I would be looking for this one to carry out a little bit of short-term downside. And this is very much in line with what we do see on US dollar, right? Or sorry, on Dixie, in the sense that Dixie is, well, looking for a little bit of a short-term uppity up, which means that most altcoins, no, most currencies versus US dollar going to be going down in the short term. But coming into next week, I don't really have major calls just yet. Looking at the daily right here, yep, range lows just below 112-ish region. What about the weekly? Still long-term good, unless if this one thing happens. Unless if this happens. If you see the weekly close below that 112 pivot today, then I would be looking for a greater pullback to start off next week, and I would be targeting back down towards about 110.5. However, right now, it still remains bullish as long as it's essentially above that region in the next 9 hours, 53 minutes, and 12 seconds or so. Moving on to euro dollar, as we got rid of the pound dollar, or sorry, the pound, what was it, euro pound or pound euro? Fuck that thing, no more. Not having it anymore. And what do we see right here? Short-term reversal. Yes, I'd be looking for this one to come back down to 120.80-ish region. Momentum also is turning down here too. Yep, 4-hour RSI coming down as well. What about daily? Daily, yeah, likely coming back down to that 10 symbol right there. So a couple points of confluence right there, just around 120.80ish region. What about the weekly? Yeah, weekly is still hard to get bearish on. You know, if it does come back down towards 120 even, probably does bounce there, to be fair. Golden cross on the weekly, you know, still kind of have to be long-term bullish on this one, as it did also break structure here as well a couple weeks ago. So I would remain more or less bullish on this one on the long term. However, short term, yes, downside. Pound yen, what do we have right here? Ooh, there you go, you little shit fucker. Coming back down to our target from yesterday, right around the 200 exponential average on the daily, and I believe the 4 hour was having some sort of confluence there as well. Yeah, we saw the short-term target at the 200 simple at 138, and now breaking structure a little bit, having a short-term reversal on the 4 hour. And do we actually have it on the daily as well? Yeah, lower high right there and lower low right there. Sweet one. All right, well, awesome. I'd probably be looking for a short-term bounce here. However, back up maybe to like 137 and 90 or something, 137.80ish region, anywhere between there is fine. But long-term, I'd be looking for this one to come back down. I do feel like this is very a decisive move right here. It's a very decisive move, as once again it brushes up against the top side of this long-term resistance in what is a bearish redistribution pattern in this case, or actually just bearish distribution pattern in this case. And so I would be looking for it to long-term still come down. I mean, actually back down to like 130 at some point. It probably even breaks further south than that. But for right now, short-term bounce, and then next week continuation to the downside, probably targeting somewhere around like 135.5 or 136 region. Anyways, moving on to pound dollar. What do we have right here? Same shit. I'd be looking for this one to come a little bit further south and play at a small bouncy bounce at about 131.5. I believe this was our target from yesterday, which we're, yeah, just now about hitting. Short, yeah, and I would be looking for a bounce basically off that level. I mean, you could even argue that we're pretty much already there. However, coming into next week, I would be looking for further downside. This is a clear fake out right here. This is a clear swing failure pattern, and this was obviously made on a monthly, by the way, so it was actually never really even broken to begin with. So fair enough. I'd still remain long-term bearish on this one, yes. And coming into next week, I'd extend targets to the downside towards 130.5. Moving on to yen dollar, what do we have right here? Yep, bouncing off the 10 simple as we spoke about yesterday. I'd be looking for this one to give another try to the upside, probably back at, well, I guess it kind of already did that. I'd just basically be bullish on this one for another move back up towards about 96.5. Coming into next week, what about the very short-term time frames? Short-term time frames, sideways and up. All good. And what do we have on traditional markets? We did say down to, I think, 12,250, of which did we get that? I think we did get that. Yeah. Hey, not bad. Yeah, 12,250 on the dot, actually. So sweet. I'd be looking for another short-term bounce right here, and I don't really have another short-term time frame call. If this one does break further south, I mean, things can get a lot more nasty down to about 12,100, but I wouldn't be willing to, yeah, I wouldn't really be willing to put my name on that just yet. A weekly still more or less fine. I can't really get bearish on this as it is. I actually, no calls in this one right here. No calls in this one. We got the downside move that we spoke about from this morning's video. I think it's time for me to just kind of say, hey, I really want to see the weekly closure. We'll come back next week and see what's up. But right now, it does look like a good short-term reversal here. So this can get a lot more nasty. I don't think it's appropriate for me to call it further, because it's just I need to see more. I need to see more price action first. Okay, what else do we got? We got gold over here, back down. Oh, Jesus Christ, did it hit my target? No. Hey, fuckface, you're not respecting the TA. You're not respecting the TA. Fuck you, gold. You're out, gold. I did say yesterday back down probably around about 1810ish region. Looks like I got picked up at about 1825. Would I still be looking back down towards 1810? Let's see. Here's what I feel a lot more confident with. Any sort of a closure today for the weekly, 9 hours and 48 minutes and 51 seconds left to go. Let me just make sure I'm recording. Okay, I'm recording. That's good. Great time to be doing it. 10 minutes into the video when it's almost done. And yes, if it does close anywhere, especially below 1840, I would be looking for this to come back down next week. Back down below 1800, somewhere around 1750 to 1780 would be my next target. However, I would actually be looking at this on the other end to produce a move back up towards about $2,000 if today does close for whatever reason above the 21, which is currently 18 and 60. What is it? 62? Yeah, 62. Looks a little bit unlikely right now. If I had to call it, I don't think that that's going to happen. I do think that this is a bit of a dead cat bounce before further continuation to the south side. But hey. the weekly should clarify that situation in just a short amount of time, relatively speaking. Alrighty, cool. So on to Bitcoin, and I wanted to first address something. A good question by Mr. Punklandia, one of our resident funny guys in the Discord. I actually really like this guy. He's fucking hilarious if you actually get around him for a little bit of time. And he was asking Crown, where are you drawing your fib from? And I told him, hey man, well, just the top of the structure to the bottom of the structure. He said, well, yeah, but what time frame? And then he started to realize that I guess it's going to be more or less the same. But what I wanted to show here is, let's actually grab a fresh chart. Can I do this on this chart? Yeah, let's do it on this chart because I don't already have one in there. But basically the way that I was drawing it is just very simple like this. I was actually doing a bearish retracement on this one because I want to get extensions. I mean, you can do it both ways, and realistically, it's just the levels are going to be respected anyways, so it's like not a huge deal. Although there are going to be obviously like bought and algo targets that are going to be different from that, so the interpretation is going to be different, yes. But now we're getting to the minutia. It's like Crown, just focus on the most important shit. All right, so fair enough. Anyways, Crown, as you speak to yourself in third person, which sounds absolutely ridiculous. If I'm looking at this on a 4 hour and I do chart it like this, I take the range high of 550 right here. We do see that the levels match up more or less with other confluent pieces like the 200 simple, like the 200 exponential average in this case right here, the 0.5, getting the last little breakdown that we saw and also breakout over here. So realistically, the question that he had was, why are you drawing it with the top right here at about 19,550 instead of like the last 4 hour closing high at 19.7? And that's a fair enough question. Well, as you can see, this is with a 19.7 high, and look where the 382 is, 17,737.5. That's exactly where the 200 simple is. Very interesting now, isn't it, Mr. Punklandia? Now let's put it down to the level that I had before, and that's going to be right at 550. And where does it come in towards? It comes in right in line with this horizontal, pretty much in between the 200 exponential average and the 200 simple. How big of a differential in price action does that produce? About $50 or $60 right there. Is that going to be all that relevant in the grand scheme of things? Fuck no. And more importantly, my friend, what I mean to say here is that actually you can do both. You can actually do both in this scenario, because what is it going to do? It's just going to produce you a nice little liquid zone right here, and it's technically not a liquid zone in this case, but let me just get through this explanation. You could have more or less a zone of support or resistance within this region, because guess what? If you actually do look at your horizontals, do these match up with critical areas? Yes, they do. And if we do go over to, let's say, like a 12 hour, where's your last closing high going to be? Actually, it's going to be that that 19.7 level again. What about on a daily? Daily is actually going to have the same thing here too. So fair enough. I'm making essentially a zone, but both to the upside and the downside here. And as you can see, the results are very, 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 very minuscule, extremely minuscule. So realistically, when you see something like that happen, what you're looking for is points of confluence. And in this case, you can see multiple on both sides. So that means that it's more or less going to, operate as a zone. And what do you know? It does operate quite well as a zone right here, as we are respecting the 200 simple, thus far breaking it to the downside. Is this more likely to break on further south? Looks likely, yes. I suppose I will be further bearish, or as long as this condition is met now, as long as we are below the last breakdown point, which was 17.9 right here. This one not fib related, by the way, just drawing it in as I see it right here. Major higher low right here, big breakdown right here, big breakout over here, major low right here, boom, breaking it right here, driving the next fib target down to the 382, caught that, now breaking, and that's going to now initiate the next sort of move to the downside, and that's probably going to be somewhere around the 236, which is 17,250-ish region, which is also in line with this structure right here. So I imagine that if we actually do, if we do keep it like this, and let me just make sure that the bottom side is correct here too. There we go. I want to make sure that everything is okay with my OCD brain. I'll just actually make another zone like this. And that's kind of the art and technical analysis, in the sense that, it's not going to be perfect, but we just need a source of edge. It doesn't need to be perfect in order to make money. It just needs to make money, So yes, this is essentially the next area that I'd be targeting on the downside. As Bitcoin does continue to break further and further south, looking at a 12 hour right here. Yep, did have a clean break of the 55. Also seeing the 10 simple cross to the downside of the 21. Nasty, nasty, nasty. And I'd be looking, somewhere down towards the low $17,000 region now, as momentum oscillators continue to travel further further south. This is your 12-hour. This is your 4-hour. Just freshly rejecting, getting out of the bearish control zone, by the way, and now angled down once again, as we identified in this morning's video. 3-hour right here, bi-hourly right here, and hourly, actually all of them down, in fact. So does this have another drive lower? Likely yes. And I would be holding on to that opinion as long as Bitcoin is closing, especially 2-hour dildos below 17,900, the last breakdown pivot that we just broke earlier today. So fair enough. With that said, I imagine we'll see whatever price action happens next, hopefully on stream. I really like to avoid making further like calls and analyses on on a Friday, because fake out, it should be called fake out Friday really, as people kind of posture for the weekends, the weekends lull in trading. A lot of the time what you'll see is during the week it'll have like a specific direction or a specific trend, in this case to the downside, and then on Friday what do people typically do? They typically take profits. So if you're going to be short and taking profits on that, then what are you going to be doing? You're going to be buying, because you don't want to be holding that over the weekend when things get crazy. I mean, I imagine a lot of these people just want to like live their lives like normal people, right? And so they close their positions, and the weekend's just kind of like the twilight zone, and then Monday comes on, and the direction is actually set in. So that's essentially what I'm looking at right here. This is a little bit of an area of fuckery here too. If things do want to reverse, it's going to happen really fucking fast, yes. But if I'm just going off a straight up structure and straight up momentum oscillators, I'd be looking for this one to travel further south. Am I trading this right now? Fuck no. I'm happy to trade down here. I'm happy to trade down here. Not happy to trade right here. However, I think that this area is kind of worn out its welcome, and it's fraught with peril. And as long as we're below 17,900, there's no even short-term bullish case in this way. I'm curious what the even trend is from like an hourly. Yeah, hourly trend would start to switch back around with a higher high above, a little bit above 17,900 to be fair, and then we can maybe target a move back up towards 18,250-ish region. But again, it's I'm not going to be bullish on this formation and talk about targets back up to 22,000 or 23,000, even though I do still think that those are going to get hit over time, of course, over time, not like today or tomorrow. But that would, that becomes a topic of conversation once again. If Bitcoin can take out about 18,000, let's just actually raise it or lower it down here, 18,550 to the upside, then yeah, we start talking about moves back up towards, mid to low $19,000 region, and then probably beyond, as this would start to look really, really good. But I am still looking at this as more or less likely to produce some sort of a higher low. I mean, could it still come from the 382 right here, which is exactly where we're at? Possible, yes, absolutely possible. It's just I want to see proof, not promises first. And right now, this just looks like a retest of the 200 simple. And if I did have to call it right now, I do think that Bitcoin comes down a little bit further south. But realistically, I want to see what things close like today, come back over the weekend, prepare for next week, and that's probably when I see my next trades. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is still looking. Ooh, oh, whoa, hey, girthy green dildos right now, sweet one. So let's see. I don't know. Maybe it does actually bottom out right here. Probably not though. But fair enough. What I'm really trying to say is, hey, we've had a lot of easy trades this week. We even had another breakdown that we identified this morning as well. Did I take it? No. I'm not interested in trading this right now. I want to see the next obvious setup essentially. So with that said, I want to wish you the best once again. Take care, and until next time.